Hey guys, welcome to Pages with Sidra. Today we are going to start chapter 586 of I Have 90 Billion Licking Gold Coins. If you haven't watched the previous chapters, make sure to check them out on my channel. Now, without any delay, let's dive into the chapter. Boss, are you planning to test the serum on the dog? Young Sison suddenly asked. Actually, I also bought a dose of the super soldier serum, but out of caution, I haven't dared to inject it into myself. But I've heard that several elites in Yinjing, including a few young masters from powerful families, have already used it. Without exception, they all gained superhuman strength. This thing's already making waves among the upper class. Even Mr. Lu Qingyuan, the chairman of Fantasy Group, injected it. He looks like he got 20 years younger. The effects of the super soldier serum have been verified by many sources. More and more people are getting impatient. Some wealthy families have even started applying for U.S. citizenship. They believe that with the serum, the U.S. will soon dominate the world. Even the U.S. dollar has begun to rise in value, with its purchasing power significantly increasing. There was a spark of heat in Yang Sison's eyes. After spending so much time around Qin Yuan, how could he not know that the boss's true identity was far from ordinary? He still vividly remembered what happened at the Xindian film studio. Dongxin Yaozun had suddenly appeared and, by himself, fought over 100 fully armed international agents. It was total carnage. That wasn't a movie scene. Their props were all real weapons. It had chilled him to the bone. Afterward, Yang Sison was taken to Bureau 9. Only after a full night of interrogation and signing a confidentiality agreement was he finally released. That's when he realized. The world wasn't as simple as he thought. And Boss Yan's identity? Far more terrifying than he had imagined. Good thing you didn't inject it. You wouldn't even know how you died. Qin Yuan squatted down and patted the head of the Chinese stray dog. Before the poor pup could react, click, the serum was injected. The injector was fully automatic. Once you hit the switch, there was no stopping it. The dog looked stunned. Young Sison was stunned too. $8 million, gone in one shot? That felt a bit too casual. At first, the dog didn't react much. But less than a minute later, the dog started howling in pain. Loud, gut-wrenching cries. Its eyes turned blood red. Sharp fangs emerged from its mouth. The muscles in its limbs began to swell. The entire dog visibly grew larger right before their eyes. Its aura became savage and violent. The crazed dog suddenly lunged at Qin Yuan with full force. Qin Yuan casually punched it away. The dog charged again. Qin Yuan punched it away again. Back and forth, over a dozen times, the dog lunged, and each time it was sent flying. Eventually, the beast finally calmed down. Now bloated to the size of a full-grown man, the dog crouched down obediently. Young Sison's lips were pale. He was genuinely terrified. This stray mutt had turned into a monster. Its claws were razor-sharp. Deep gouges were left in the marble floor with a single swipe. If those claws hit a person, game over. Only someone as terrifying as Boss Qin could handle something like this. You dumb mutt. Still not behaving? Qin Yuan stepped on the dog's head, pulled out a thick needle, and jabbed it deep into the beast's body. The dog screamed again. He drew a full tube of blood before finally pulling the needle out. This is insane. The serum even works on dogs? Wasn't this thing supposed to be developed specifically for modifying human genes? Are humans and dogs that genetically similar? Young Sison was completely baffled. Of course not. You believe that nonsense from the American media. I already looked into it. The serum's real name is the ST virus serum. It was developed by a U.S. biotech company called KL Bio. They started research 30 years ago and made a breakthrough 10 years ago. To be precise, the ST virus serum has existed for a full decade. What? If the serum has been around for that long, why hasn't the U.S. already taken over the world? Why wait until now? Young Sison couldn't wrap his head around it. Because the ST virus serum is actually a failed product. It doesn't really trigger natural evolution of the human gene. All it does is aggressively stimulate cell division during stress, pushing the pituitary and adrenal glands to produce massive surges of hormones. In other words, you get super strength and quick reflexes in the short term. Even your healing factor improves dramatically. But the cost is huge. It burns through your body's telomeres like fuel, basically eating up your lifespan. Someone who might have had 50 years left? After injection, they'll be lucky to last 5. And if you're unlucky, maybe 1 year. KL Biotech already has the experimental data to prove all this. Qin Yuan explained calmly. Tina Morgan, being one of the top council members of Skull Society, naturally had access to this kind of intel. So it wasn't hard for Chen Yuan to get his hands on it. Yang Sison took in a sharp breath. Holy hell, those American bastards are evil. They trick the whole world. Rich people spending millions, maybe even tens of millions, just to buy their own death. He shivered just thinking about it. Good thing he held back. Otherwise, he might have been dead by next year. Exactly. The Skull Society never scams the poor. But aren't they afraid of getting exposed? People aren't stupid. Once the truth comes out, KL Biotech will face a massive backlash. No one will let them off the hook. Yang Sison clenched his teeth. $8 million wasn't pocket change for him. He felt like he'd been played hard. KL Biotech is just a puppet. The real mastermind behind it all is the Skull Society. I don't know what they're planning, but from their actions, it looks like they've already produced a large number of bioengineered soldiers. Boss, is this the same Skull Society that's been trying to assassinate you? The one behind yesterday's plane explosion. That's right. But I've also planted spies inside their ranks. I've learned a lot of useful things, like how the Skull Society has been around for over 200 years. They've been manipulating the global economy from the shadows. And here's something even stranger. They've been secretly acquiring gold from all over the world for more than a century. They've made every country store tons of gold in the US, but all that gold has been quietly transferred elsewhere by the Skull Society. No one knows what they're really planning to do with it. Chapter 998. The Nirvana Fire Phoenix. Gold was never just currency. Beyond making jewelry, its most important trait was its extreme metal stability. That made it an ideal conductor of energy, widely useful in aerospace, electronics, and advanced tech. Throughout history, gold had always been a hard currency. Even thousands of years ago, civilizations across the globe unanimously valued it. But who decided that gold was precious in the first place? Why did ancient people treat gold as money, while other metals never gained the same worth? Maybe things weren't as simple as they seemed. Back then, people didn't have aerospace or electronic science. So why did they revere gold so much? The education we received never truly explained what ancient history was like. What kind of world is this, really? How did humans even come into existence? Did we really evolve from apes? Why does recorded human history only stretch back a few thousand years? Everything you think you know about the world, those are just things other people told you. And because everyone believes it, you assume it must be true. But what if even the scientists who shaped those beliefs were wrong from the beginning? Too many questions. Too many things that can't be explained. The truth is, we know nothing about this world. What makes humans different from other animals? The 7 great mysteries of the world are still mysteries. Chen Yuan always believed the US had been hoarding gold for over a century because they were planning something massive. For the next several days, Chen Yuan stayed in the lab, fully focused on researching the supervirus serum and closely monitoring the dog's condition. He constantly ran tests on the dog's blood, analyzing every change. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ocean, in the United States, one global headline after another began making waves. The Skull Society members who had appeared on the dark web's bounty list were being taken out one by one. The event caused panic at the highest levels of U.S. society. People were so scared they were nearly wetting their pants. Out of the 173 names listed, 168 had been eliminated in less than a week. Only 5 remained on the list, still at large, even though they'd gone into extreme hiding after learning of the bounty. Some hiring gene-enhanced bodyguards for protection. It made no difference. Against the world's top-tier assassins, they were still lambs to the slaughter. And in the midst of this chaos, one assassin's name suddenly exploded in fame. She became a living legend on the dark web's killer rankings. Her insane kill count left even veteran killers speechless. The entire underground world lit up with discussion. Unbelievable. Who the hell is this Nirvana Fire Phoenix? She took out 15 Skull Society elites in a single day? 39 targets in just 5 days? Even the super soldier bodyguard squads got wiped out. That's god-tier stuff. Could it be she's actually Doomsday Requiem, the world's former #1 assassin? Rumor has it she betrayed Skull Society and went into hiding. Maybe she's come back for revenge. Very possible. With a name like Nirvana Fire Phoenix, she's probably a woman. And women these days, you do not mess with them. A lot of new names have appeared on the assassin rankings lately, and honestly, it's all thanks to the super soldier serum. Personal combat ability has shot through the roof. A few assassins I know already took out loans to buy a dose. They'll earn it back in no time. True. That stuff seems tailor-made for us in the underground world. In regular society, some boost in strength doesn't change much. But here, a single dose can match the training of a top assassin with 10 years experience. Totally worth it. Respect to the legend, 39 confirmed bounties. That's probably hundreds of billions in earnings. Time to retire. The dark web was on fire with chatter. Elsewhere, Lin Shudong had just completed another mission. She pulled off her metal face mask. "Shuna, you're hurt," said Scorpion, another assassin, rushing over with a medkit to bandage the bullet wound on Lin Shudong's shoulder. "It's nothing," she said calmly. "I'm getting better at understanding my body. This kind of minor injury will heal in a day, won't even leave a scar. Besides, fighting under life-threatening pressure, it helps me get stronger." "Shuna, you're pushing yourself too hard. We already have more money than we could ever spend. You need to rest." "No. Those bastards tried to kill Brother Qin Yuan. I have to make them pay in blood." A chilling killing intent flashed in her eyes. Even Scorpion felt her skin crawl. Over 200 people had died at Lin Shudong's hands. The murderous aura around her was practically solid. Last time, she killed over 100 agents while escaping the U.S. This time, she came back by choice. She personally executed 39 Skull Society members. Several gene-enhanced warriors had also died under her blade, burned down and reborn, like a phoenix. That's why she called herself the Nirvana Fire Phoenix. "Shuna, you're insane," said Scorpion. "All this effort, and that man might never even know it. Even if he does, so what? You think he'll be grateful? Probably not. This is classic simp behavior." "I don't care," Lin Shudong said. "As long as I'm happy. Taking revenge for Brother Qin Yuan, even if he never finds out, I have no regrets. And technically, I'm taking bounties. I'm not helping him for free. With the money I earn, I can stand on equal ground with him. I won't be too far beneath him." Scorpion was speechless. In Shuna, the national goddess of South Korea, a woman who once stirred an entire nation. And now? She was topping the global assassin rankings. Billions in earnings. Beauty, money, strength, she had it all. So why was she so obsessed? Why would someone like her willingly become a simp? She had to be under some kind of spell. That's it for today's chapter recap. If you enjoyed the breakdown, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with the latest manga, manhwa, and manhwa recaps. Got thoughts on today's chapter? Drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear your take on the story. Also, if you know other fans who were reading this manhwa but stopped because it got axed, share this video with them. The more support we get, the more motivation we'll have to keep making these videos. See you in the next one. Until then, keep turning the pages.